Hey guys, it's Caleb, and welcome back to the Pink Side. Today I'm going to talk about another aspect of the domestic discipline community that annoys me, although this isn't something that's part of the community, but this is just something that targets the community from the outside. And what I'm talking about is search results on various search platforms, but specifically Google, intentionally hiding, burying, and misrepresenting domestic discipline content. And here's what I mean by this. Most of us know the basic terminology in domestic discipline, right? So M/F means male over female. Female slash I'm sorry, F/M means female over male, which means the woman spanks the man. If you Google F/M spankings, which means female spanking males, women spanking men, all kinds of search results are going to come up pertaining to women spanking men, both in a fantasy context and a domestic discipline context. Now, guess what happens when you reverse that and you type in M/F spankings, which means men spanking women, male spanking females? Guess what happens? What happens is you still get a whole lot of search results pertaining to women spanking men. Oh, you get a couple of men spanking women for sure. But you get as many, if not more, search results for women spanking men as you do men spanking women, even though you're typing in male over female spanking. Now, let's take that a step further. Let's say you type in domestic discipline, just domestic discipline itself, with quotes around it so that you get the exact phrase. You're still going to get as many results of female-led domestic discipline as you are with regular domestic discipline, if not more. And you might say to me, well, that doesn't prove anything because you're just typing in the word domestic discipline. Google doesn't know. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it does, and I'll tell you how. It's common knowledge that in the domestic discipline world, as well as in the just fantasy spanking world, but especially in the domestic discipline world, male-led domestic discipline is 1,000 times more popular than female-led domestic discipline. And it's not close. So there are way more websites and forums and stuff dedicated to male-led domestic discipline. And there's really not many at all dedicated to female-led domestic discipline. But when you type in domestic discipline, you're still going to get as many female-led domestic discipline sites as you are male-led domestic discipline sites. Furthermore, when you just type in domestic discipline, you're going to get all kinds of search results talking about how domestic discipline is abuse. Oh, and that brings me back to the male, female, female, male thing. So when you type in female over male, female/male spanking, right? Like I said, you'll get those research results of women spanking men, female-led domestic discipline, so on and so forth. But you don't get the abuse. You don't get the sites claiming domestic discipline is abuse. You don't get those in your search results, at least not right away. But when you type in M/F, male over female spankings, you do get those in your search results, and you get a lot of them. So Google is definitely trying to send the message that female-led domestic discipline is better than male-led domestic discipline. Now, I don't think Google cares about domestic discipline one way or the other. They just don't want men to there's a lot of people at Google that just don't believe in male-led relationships. So, and they use their technical know-how to mess with search results and search engines and stuff so that when you type in info about domestic discipline, you see what they want you to see as opposed to what's really totally out there. So I don't think Google is pushing female dominance per se, because even most people on the left are not necessarily into like female dominance. But I think they're actively trying to suppress anything that smacks of male dominance and male authority. This is something I'm not sure what to do about, because even when you go to like the uncensored sites, right? Like there's uncensored search engines that you can go into, like DuckDuckGo and some others. But the problem is they're censored too, because even though they don't directly censor, they use all of Google's crawlers. So you still end up with the same basic results. Now you'll end up with a few more legitimate results than you would on Google. But it's still very much, even when you go into a completely uncensored search engine, it's still very much suppressed. There used to be, when I first got into this community and I typed in domestic discipline in the search bar, there was endless information, like just thousands of sites, legitimate information by people who legitimately lived the lifestyle. There were countless blogs. There used to be this blog called My Bottom Smarts, and this girl named Bonnie, and she had this list of domestic discipline blogs, and the list was endless. I mean, she must have had like 2,000 blogs on her blog list. So there used to be a lot of blogs and a lot of information out there, and the information is still out there, but it's been actively suppressed, and a lot of the domestic discipline bloggers have simply stopped blogging because they can't get any traffic to their sites, because when you type in domestic discipline, search results for their blog don't come up, even when you type in like exact phrases from things they said in their blogs. Google blocks it. So this is a problem in the domestic discipline community. I'm not sure what to do to fix it. I think that all social media sites, all search engines, should be forced to just go back to being just neutral in all things. Whether that's domestic discipline, whether that's politics, whatever it is. It's not Google's place to decide whether you've broken a law or not. It's not Google's place to push your politics a certain direction. It's not Google's place to push your beliefs in domestic discipline a certain direction. And that's another thing. We need to go back to a completely neutral internet like we had at the beginning. Because without a neutral internet, there's no freedom in America, just in whole. I mean, just leaving domestic discipline out of it. That's all for today.